The British economy isn't doing so well. Since the pandemic, the UK has had by far the lowest growth of the G7 countries. It is also the only G7 country whose GDP has not yet returned to what it was before the pandemic. Most of the time, a low growth rate means low aggregate demand and, as a result, low inflation. However, the UK has the highest inflation rate in the group, with year-on-year inflation at 11.1% as of October. This video will explain why the economy of the UK is doing so poorly. Stay with us until the end while we list the reasons. Welcome to our channel. Before starting our video, don't forget to smash the subscribe button and click the notification bell for more amazing content. Let's start with the video. Why is the UK doing so poorly compared to others? The OECD says that the world is in the middle of the worst energy crisis in the last 50 years. Russia has cut off gas supplies, which has caused the price of gas to go up. But how exposed you are to that determines how badly your economy is affected. According to OECD, the economic growth for France is going to be plus 0.6%, and for the US, it is going to be plus 0.5%. However, for countries like Germany and the UK, it is going to be 0.3% and 0.4%. The UK's economy is doing the worst of the big economies next year, but no one is doing very well right now. France produces most of its electricity from nuclear power domestically. In the United States, most of the gas it uses is produced domestically, which helps to insulate them from what's happening to the international price of gas. However, countries like Germany and the United Kingdom depend more on imported gas, and so they are taking the brunt of this energy shock. So when is the UK going to get better? According to OECD, the UK might have 2 hard winters instead of just 1, and what it's concerned about is gas storage in Europe. The OECD says that gas storage is at 90% at the moment. In the future, it will go down as they use it during the winter, and then it will go back up as they fill the storage capacity in the spring. But if the storage capacity goes below 30%, there's a chance that something will go wrong. They are worried about what will happen if winters become much colder. The gas storage will drop into the danger zone, and the UK will have to try to fill a bigger hole. Because of this, the situation can get very bad the following winter. Why can't the UK fill the storage facilities? Well, European countries have done that pretty well over the summer in filling up their gas storage. Even so, a lot of that gas came from Russia. Russia has now cut the amount of supply by a lot, and it doesn't look like that will change anytime soon. Europe can buy some gas on international markets, but then it has to compete with other countries. So it probably won't be able to get as much gas as it needs and will have to pay more for it. The UK is physically connected to the European energy market, so if they pay more for gas, the UK probably has to pay more as well. Other long-standing causes. Since the financial crisis in 2008, things haven't been going that well. The UK's growth has slowed down a lot. For some background, the UK's average growth rate in the 10 years before 2008 was 2.7%. 10 years later, it was almost 40% less, and growth was only 1.7% on average. Let's look at the long-term problems that have made the UK's economic crisis worse, like Brexit, the pandemic, and Liz Truss's disastrous mini-budget. The pandemic was bad for the economies of almost every country, but the UK economy was hit the hardest. There are now about 650,000 more economically inactive people in the UK than there were before the pandemic. Most of these people can't work because they are sick for a long time, often because they have a long COVID. About 7 million people are on NHS waiting lists, which is a record high. This number is likely to keep going up until at least March 2024. Now, the obvious solution would be to spend more money on the NHS, but that can't happen, in part, because of the second reason on our list: Liz Truss's bad mini-budget and the rise in government borrowing costs that it caused. It is thought that the increase in interest rates cost the government about £30 billion, which is about 20% of the NHS's current budget. Brexit is the third and last recent event that has made the UK's already bad economic situation worse. Since the Brexit deal went into effect in late 2020, the UK's exports of goods have been much lower than those of the other G7 countries. This has hurt GDP again. In a similar way, investment has dropped off a cliff. This is likely because of the economic uncertainty caused by Brexit, which discourages investment and lowers GDP. The Centre for European Reforms doppelganger analysis, which basically uses data from other similar economies to simulate how the UK's economy would do without Brexit, has found that Brexit has cut GDP growth by an astounding 5.2%. The most obvious thing to do here would be to soften on Brexit, at least temporarily. Unfortunately, this seems unlikely to happen, at least based on how the government has responded. So, if they can't do that, they'll have to find another way to solve the problem. That was it for today's video, guys. What do you think of the whole UK situation? Do let us know in the comments. If you liked the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. We will see you in the next video. Till then, take care.